Chapter 2. Treasure Hunt. Those first 2 weeks of the summer holidays seemed to Harmony to go in a flash. She woke up one morning with a certain feeling that there was something nasty about that particular day. Of course, Uncle Ginger was going, first down to Devonshire to stay with some friends and then back to India. It was a lovely sunny morning, just the sort when usually Harmony would be up in a hurry and outside, leaving the sea lion and the pouter pigeon snoring their distinctive snores and the Siamese curled lazily in her neat bed. But this morning she lay still, Rex Ruff-Monty by her side, and thought about everything that had happened. What a lot of treats they had had. Uncle Ginger had taken them to all sorts of things, sometimes the whole family, but mostly just the 2 girls. Once he and she had gone alone to the Natural History Museum, because Simple Sissy had said she had a headache, and Harmony had wondered if there would be any more talk about magic. I might be able to help. That's what the Silvertip had said. But there wasn't, and now he was going. And another thing, she said to Rex Ruff-Monty. He's bought everybody presents except me. Flowers and chocolates for Mummy, cigars for Daddy, a frock for Simple Sissy. What do you make of that? Jealous, you say? I'm jealous? Oh, come on, Rex Ruff-Monty, of course I'm not. But she was. Then the thought occurred to her, not just that she hadn't been given a present, but that she hadn't been given a present yet. She decided to give Rex Ruff-Monty the credit. Of course, how absolutely right you are, as always. He's saving up my present to last, till just before he goes, because it's something very special. Of course! Harmony suddenly felt ridiculously happy. She lay in bed a little longer, making faces for the benefit of her one-eyed audience. First she made a jealous face, pulling the corners of her mouth down, gritting her teeth, nostrils flaring, brow furrowed. Then she gradually changed this, through a suddenly realizing face, eyebrows raised, eyes and mouth slowly opening wide, to a ridiculously happy face, split right across in a huge grin. Of course, it was something very special. But what? It couldn't be a pet of any kind. Uncle Ginger had said he wouldn't interfere in that. But it might be a book about animals, perhaps. Or maybe model animals for her farm, which was spread all over her bedroom floor. A very mixed farm it was, for zebra and deer mingled with the cows. There were hippos among the pigs and ostriches amid the chickens, and on the shiny glass surface of the duck pond a crocodile bared his ever-open jaws. Or perhaps, surprisingly her mind moved for a moment away from birds and beasts. It would be a football. He knew she was keen on that. It couldn't be that pair of brilliant red and gold striped football stockings she'd always longed for. She hadn't told him about them. Or possibly, just possibly, could it be a bike? A new bike? Don't be so silly, Harmony, she said to herself, and she put on her don't be so silly Harmony face, the sort you make on meeting a very nasty smell, and leapt out of bed. As usual, Rex Ruff-Monty's face was expressionless. After breakfast, Mr. Parker left as usual for his office in the city. Watching the 2 brothers say their goodbyes, Harmony thought how unlike they were, as unlike indeed as you would expect a sea lion and a silvertip grizzly to be. One she would see again that evening, the other, goodness knows when. Perhaps never. Her heart suddenly felt as though someone had squeezed it. I wish Uncle Ginger wasn't going, she said silently to Rex Ruff-Monty lying upside down in her lap. I wish. Her lips must have moved, because the Silvertip grinned and said, Wishing again, Harmony. Harmony felt herself go very red, and was glad that the pouter pigeon had fluttered off to preen herself, and the Siamese had slid away to stare into the nearest looking-glass. Ginger saw the blush and changed the subject. Oh, by the way, he said, I've got a present for you. It isn't much, but it might help. I'll go up and get it. Anyway, I must collect my bags and make a start. I've got quite a long drive. And he went out of the room with his rolling grizzly's gait. Harmony sat quite still. On both hands her fingers were crossed. Everyone likes getting presents, but more and more she had come to feel that this one was going to be very special. "It isn't much," he had said, "so it couldn't be a bike. A watch, perhaps. A digital with a thick leather strap, not a silly little ornamental one like Simple Sissy's. Or it might be one of those pens that wrote in 6 different colours." Uncle Ginger came downstairs again, a suitcase in either hand, and loaded them into the car which he had hired for his leave. He called, "Harmony!" Harmony uncrossed her fingers and ran outside, Rex Ruff-Monty swinging by his soft leg. "Yes, Uncle Ginger?" "This is for you. Now I'll go and find your mother and Melody to say my goodbyes, and then I must be off." Harmony looked at the small, thin, brown envelope in her hand. Money, she thought, and a little wave of disappointment washed over her. She wasn't a greedy child, and it didn't occur to her that a small envelope can contain a valuable banknote. She just felt that money was an impersonal present, that she had wanted something, anything, however humble, never mind about watches or bikes, to remind her of the big man who now came out of the house with her mother and sister. But just money. "Thank you very much," she said. "What have you got, Harm?" cried Melody, and she twirled cat-like to show off her new frock. "Open it, Harmony, darling," cooed her mother. "You can't thank Uncle Ginger when you don't know what you're thanking him for." "Oh, yes, she can," said Uncle Ginger quickly, and he winked at Harmony, a very small private wink that the others didn't see. "Anyway, it is I who should be doing all the thanking for putting me up and putting up with me. You've been very kind, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my stay." And he enveloped the pouter pigeon and the Siamese in a bear hug. Then he turned to Harmony, but she only stuck out her hand. The silver-tipped grizzly took it gently in his large paw. He looked down from his great height at the brown eyes that seemed larger than ever, at the pale face that was set in a tight, frozen smile. "Goodbye, Harmony," he said. "Don't forget, there are lots of good things in small parcels." And he climbed into the car and drove away, waving until the bend in the drive hid him from sight. "What did he mean by that?" asked Mrs. Parker. "I expect," purred Melody, "he was referring to your younger daughter's being such an extremely short person, not to say a dwarf." Normally, such a remark would have invited instant attack, or at the least Harmony's "I hate my sister" face, eyes horribly crossed and tongue almost touching her chin. But to Melody's surprise, she seemed not to have heard. She walked into the house and locked herself in the downstairs lavatory. "Sulking, silly child," mewed Melody. Mrs. Parker pouted. "I simply don't understand her," she said. "Did you notice? She wouldn't kiss your uncle. She seems to have no affection for people." Sitting on the lavatory seat, Harmony opened the brown envelope. Inside there was only a scrap of paper. On it was written in capital letters, "They grow it in India." Harmony leapt off the seat. "I ought to have known, Rex Ruff-Monty," she said in a fierce whisper. "Of course he wouldn't have just given me boring old money. It's the first clue in a treasure hunt. What's that you say? Wait till we're on our own. You're absolutely right as usual." She unlocked the door and went to find her mother. "Are you going out this morning, Mummy?" "Yes, darling. Melody and I are going shopping in about half an hour. Why, do you want to come?" "No, thanks. I haven't got any money." "Oh, so it wasn't even money in the envelope then," said Melody cattily. "What was it then?" "Mind your own stinking business." "Harmony, really, you're not to speak to your sister like that." Harmony ran upstairs, and once safely out of sight, made her "my mother drives me mad" face, sticking her thumbs in her ears and waggling her fingers, at the same time screwing her mouth sideways, tongue drooling over her lower lip like an idiot. She waited impatiently till she heard the car drive away, and then dashed for the encyclopedias on the sitting-room bookcase. "Here we are, Rex Ruff-Monty. Now then, I to M. Where's India? Oh, here it is. Climate mainly tropical monsoon. Agric economy, rice, cotton, timber, tea. Now, let's be methodical. Remember what the praying mantis is always saying. Harmony Parker, you are slapdash. You must learn to be more methodical. So, rice first. In the kitchen, the rice was in a large screw-top jar. She opened it, and there seemed to be nothing in it but rice. She tipped out the contents onto a sheet of newspaper, but nothing was hidden among the grains. There was a packet of rice unopened in the larder. She looked to see if anything was written on it, but no. Cotton, then. She went carefully through the drawers of her mother's sewing table. Cotton reels there were in plenty, but no clue. What else was made of cotton? Sheets, perhaps. She searched all the bedrooms. Blank. OK, then. Timber. Well, all right. Loads of things in the house were made of wood, but timber meant growing trees, didn't it? Doggedly she climbed in turn the 3 knobbly old apple trees in the orchard, Rex Ruff-Monty lying patiently in the grass to leave both her hands free, but to no avail. It must be tea, then. There were several tea containers in the house. There were 2 tins in the kitchen, one with Indian, one with China, though that would be cheating if he put a clue there. There was a handsome fluted caddy in the silver tea service her mother used on special occasions. There was a zinc-lined box, shaped like a miniature sea chest, made of a pale polished wood and brass bound. All were full of tea and empty of information. Automatically, Harmony made her way to the place where she did her best thinking, the chicken house. She sat down and assumed her concentrated thought face, which she always used at school when asked something she didn't know, eyes tight shut, head resting on hand, agonized expression. Rex Ruff-Monty hung upside down from her other hand, and absently she swung him, thump, 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 against the tea chest on which she was sitting. Boom-tea, 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 said a bit of Harmony's busy brain as she thumped, and then boom-tea, boom-tea, boom-tea. Of course! Quickly she jumped off the tea chest and tipped it over. On the floor beneath it was another piece of paper. On it was written, "All these are what? Bets, ghosts, plans, false trails, foundation stones. So are these." Harmony didn't know the word for putting on a bet or exercising a ghost, and she would probably have said that you make a plan. But she knew the last 2. "False trails are laid," she said, "and so are foundation stones. What else? Of course! Eggs!" Falling on her knees, she searched feverishly in the dusty old straw of the 4 nest boxes. The first 3 had nothing in them. In the 4th, her fingers touched something. Another envelope. On it was written, "Harmony Parker, handle with care." This time there was something inside it, something small and hard. She tore the envelope open. Inside it there was a screw of paper. Hastily she unfolded it, and out upon the powdery floor of the chicken house fell a single 50-pence piece.